Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy here. I'm going to do the October video. October's quite a big month. There's going to be a lot happening astrologically, energetically. A month of initiation for sure. So I'm not going to go too deep into the astrology. I'm just going to give you dates for your diary. And then we'll draw some cards and see what the themes are going to be. So Sunday the 2nd, yesterday, Mercury goes direct in Virgo. So this is going to be a quickening of the pace. Friday the 8th, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn, having been retrograde for quite some time. So again, more forward movements, and Mercury going direct, Pluto going direct. Saturday the 9th, we have a full moon in Aries. I think it's Pisces sidereal. I haven't checked it. So Saturday, full moon, completion of whatever started 6 months ago. Sunday the 23rd, the sun enters Scorpio. And so we start waking up the 8th house. Also on Sunday the 23rd, Saturn goes direct in Aquarius. So that's the third of 3 planets, all going direct in 1 month. That's a lot of movement, all right? And from now until about the 12th of October, Saturn makes its 4th and final 18-degree square with Uranus and the North Node conjunction. So again, that tension of change, something to push against, which is speaking to personal authority. And what changes do we want to make in this initiatic month? The higher mind building the plan. Remember, Saturn is practical, Aquarius is mental. So this is about application now. So watch out for overthinking, underdoing, and vice versa. Also, Uranus will want to be a rebel and might want to burn the plan. And then we have Tuesday the 25th, Scorpio new moon and a partial solar eclipse. Sunday the 30th, Mars goes retrograde in Gemini until January 2023. And then at the end of October, obviously, we have Samhain. So that triad is what I want to feel into, that eclipse, Mars retro, Samhain. So in October, I did the numerology for October, and what came through were some archetypes. So we have the star, which is the purification of the water, the purification of the emotion. It's like the wish card. And strength, the strength to make the change to achieve the wish, which asks a bigger question, which I'll come to in a minute. We have the tower with the chariot. And the tower is change. Chariot is movement. And then we have the overall expression of October is the Empress, the Devil, and the Lovers, right? This is alignment through choice. Devil and Lovers, choice. Choice to be stuck, choice to build a brighter future. And then some questions came through. Who and what do you work for? And what came in was Amazon as an example, and the Great Resignation. And if it looks like modern slavery and it smells like modern slavery, then is there an alignment in that to what your heart wants? The 6 of the Lovers. Or is there a stuckness and an inability to move? That's the 15-6 of the Devil. Is the work you do in the world in alignment with your heart? And here we're talking about work as love made manifest. That's the 6 coming into being. So the 15 is the Devil. And the devil will show you what you are bound to, obliged to, subservient to, and the six is inviting you to align your creativity to your heart, and that might look like defiant passion. So there are all the notes. That's all I'm going to do with the notes. And I've only drawn 4 cards. So again, we have the 7th house of Libra and relationships. And we spoke in detail about this a couple of videos ago, about where our relationships are aligned. Yeah, literally, what are we holding hands with? The 50 of going into that higher mind, pulling straight down through all the chakras. 12th house is about self-managing leadership. It is about authority and personal authority. It is about what governs us and what we govern. And 12th house is Pisces. Introspection. So it's going right in again. And then we have the 10th house. Okay. 48 is another 12-3. So bringing the authority, bringing the plan in, really, for personal authority. And what does that look like? And the underlying energy is the tension and the restriction of Saturn. And that 24-6 is speaking to what we are bonded to, behaviors and patterns and paradigms and archetypes. And it's a good time to make some changes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull 1 archetype card for the eclipse. One archetype. Which archetype is going to be up for review during the Scorpio eclipse? That's a lot. We don't need 6. Well, that's it. You know, do we self-sabotage because of, insert words here, we're fearful of change, we're fearful of upsetting that? Or do we rebel and push against this 4th and final square, which we might perceive as limitation, boundaries, restriction? So the rebel wants to challenge authority, and I might be challenging the authority of self. Where did I let this happen to myself? Where are my boundaries in this? Where are my limitations and restrictions in this? So challenging authority to effect social change rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So again, this is coming back into the heart. And we know what the saboteur is. Fear of self-empowerment is how it's worded on this card. The fear of self-empowerment, the fear of being powerful in the world, the fear of self-authority, and what's that going to look like, and who am I going to upset in that? And how deeply do I care? Do I care enough that that's going to restrict me and cause me to self-sabotage? Do I care enough that I grow the courage and the strength to cause change? So that's the eclipse. Let's go Mars retro. What archetypes are going to come up for review during Mars retrograde in Gemini? Well, here he is. It's interesting, in a couple of readings I've done recently, the wounded king keeps coming up, and this is about the healing of the masculine. And if we're talking about personal authority, we are talking about the archetype of the king within. So this is the empowered masculine within. And it might take some training to harness that energy and apply it in the world in a non-combative way. Sometimes we have to go to combat, but we can achieve more when we learn to speak through the voice of the king. If you look at the King of Swords is coming to mind, and he sits on top of a mountain with his sword. So he sees right above the melee, the noise, doesn't get involved in the minutiae of the drama, but sees the bigger picture. So the king is going to come up for review. Enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. Shadow attribute is excessive feelings of entitlement. And if we've got the 12th house in, then that might be triggering the part of us that feels resentful because it never worked or we never made it happen. It might even trigger feelings of failure. Rulership without restraint. There's that Machiavellian. And the advocate. Okay, how do we advocate for ourselves? How do we speak on behalf of ourselves? How do we speak on behalf of our king? So this is challenging us to put inspiration into action, to put compassion into action, compassion with passion. Rather than embrace negative causes or commit to causes for personal gain. So it really is harnessing the passion of the king and driving that into action. Beautiful. Now, can we speak to Samhain, the ancestors? This is a very different energy. It's slow. Mm. Mm. This is about the humbling of power. That's it. This is about the humbling of power. Rather than using power for self-aggrandizement to make oneself big and important. And Prince's student energy, all the princes are student energy, the beginning, learning how to harness power. So that might be what the ancestors are wanting to teach us. Learning how to harness the king. And the beginning of a new journey. Wow. Wow. So I'm getting, that's death and birth if you're brave enough to let go. Fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. And the shadow is to deny the emotional truth of a situation. So the whole thing is about It's about causing that alignment from the higher mind all the way down through every belief system held in every chakra. Realign the integrity. And remember, it's an initiatic month. That's beautiful. Yeah. And the underlying archetype is the Avenger. The desire to balance the scales of justice. Righteousness on behalf of society. Righteous indignation. Yeah. The shadow attribute is to resort to harmful behavior to get what you want. That would be the revenger. The Avenger is a desire to balance the scales of justice. I'm going to put that there. Right. So with the Fool card, I just want to go to what can we surrender? So death and birth, and what are we willing to let go of? So what would be some themes that we can ponder letting go of? Yeah. Well, again, if we're talking about harnessing king energy, then at some point as we make the change to bring it into the physical, we need to trust ourselves. And we need to trust ourselves that it may not go to plan. You know, again, it's letting go of that desire for perfection, to get it right the first time. That's just the ego, that's fear. Surrender to trust. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions. This is the sword. It is the Arthurian sword. Of truth. What is your truth, and how do you stand by it? You know, how do you hold hands with your truth in that 7th house of relationship? What is your relationship to truth and trust, trusting your truth? And if we speak about that in context of letting go, do we let go of our fear of being confident? Because being confident can trigger any school wounding, any teen wounding of where there was peer pressure or peer judgment at school. This goes back to the getting bumped ahead 2 or 3 classes, because your mind needs stretching and not being turned into a villain because you stand by your sword, not being turned into a villain because actually your light can see straight through the system. The system doesn't want to be called. The system wants to stand in the egoic power of its own authority, and nothing changes. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to do some mystical shaman cards, and let's just speak to these as a triad now, as a collective of energy for, let's say, the end of October. What can we prepare for, please, for the end of October? A lot. Well, there's the moon. I can't remember what the date is. It's 2 moons, isn't there? 13, 13. 13 cycles of the moon. 13, 13. Yeah. Wow. Well. Okay. Right. Let's start with the underlying energy. So it might get a bit noisy in October because there's going to be so much energy. 3 planets going direct is going to cause shifts, leaps, changes, unexpected alteration, divine detours. So stay above it. And if you know your vision, and if you're standing by your sword, you stay with that throughout the noise and the changes and the shifts. So stay there. We have the moon, and that's about going within, you know, to reveal to yourself what's hidden in your field. I'm going to put that over the 12th house because the moon is Pisces. In this energy, the moon is Pisces and the answers are within. And so if we're talking about the answers are within, we're talking about dissolving the program of codependency and projection. Okay, nothing outside you can give you those heartfelt answers, only the heart can. And this is harvest, this is autumn in the Northern Hemisphere. There's that initiatic 10 and gathering the corn. And gathering the corn is about nourishing the soul. It's about nourishing what you've grown. It's nourishing the seeds that you've planted. That could speak to the Scorpio new moon eclipse. That could speak to you sowed 27 seeds and only 3 of them are going to grow. And so we bring the focus in and we give everything to those 3 seeds. And it begs an important question of actually, if we're talking about 7th house and relationships, what feeds your soul? We're back to that. What enriches your soul? So yeah, the corn and the gatherer, the gathering, the gathering. Where has it not been okay for you to speak your truth? Where have you swallowed your words? Which speaks to throat chakra healing. How do we open that throat chakra and speak through the light of that sword that we're pulling out of the stone? This is about speaking your truth. Enrichment and speaking your truth. This is actually speaking to playfulness today. Like there is no wrong path and there is no right path. There are paths of exploration. And when you bring everything to that, it becomes a game. It becomes, because experience is about soul growth. Okay. And soul growth often begins with this tension and conflict. And when we choose to, we can harness that tension and conflict and take it within to our moon energy. What is this in me? And just explore the path. And also with exploring the path, you got to know when to let go. So that I talked recently about cycloning in the same trauma. You got to know when to let it go so that you can rise into that higher mind of the 50 and rise, pull from a different place, build a different blueprint for yourself. So keep a high vantage point. Okay, let's get some final messages, please. This has come through so clearly. I thought this was going to be like a really long video, but it's come through so clearly. Okay. Okay, yeah, lovely. I want to put those two together because As we heal ourselves, we heal our ancestral DNA. All right. So within you is your timeline since the beginning of your timeline, sorry. Okay. Since the beginning of your lineage, that's all stored in your DNA, in your hard drive. And as we heal ourselves, we uplift the ancestor. And this is like, what I'm getting from this today is this is about creative authority. The creative authority to bring your blueprint in, your expression of creativity should be nothing less than unique. It's probably the thing you used to dream about when you were wee, when you were tiny. It might be the thing that got laughed out of the classroom. It might be the thing that you were told by an adult is silly, whatever. It's uplift. It is uplifting. It's upliftment. This will be the energy for October. There's upliftment, initiation, challenge, moving, staying in that moon energy so you know how you feel. And that will help you come from a deeper place of truth and alignment, rather than being swayed by what that wants from you. Again, it's moving us out of that reacting slave energy, doing for others. And where is our dream? That's beautiful. Let's finish with an animal oracle. This is just falling off the top of the deck. Secrets. And it might be that your dream has been a secret, that you've had to hold it as a secret. I'm hearing stories recently about there's this kind of collective realization going on about the delay. It's like a delayed gratification. It's back into that. Have I held it all this time? Yeah, because that was right. Got to trust that. How do we birth that secret? The secret might simply be within a relationship. The secret might simply be how you truly feel about somebody. Yeah. Again, this is the third time this card has been out. So we have solar plexus and ferocity. Fierce will. Personal will. If you want it, go and get it. If you want it, create it. It doesn't matter. There's so much that corrupts and pollutes. If you want it, go and get it. Money is the first obstacle. And that's what takes us out of joy and passionate creation. Joy and passionate creation doesn't care about money. Why? Because money is energy. If we create from joy and passion, that will be met. The physics will pull that towards us in many different ways. Yeah, I'm just being taken. Oh, there's 3 cards there. I'm just being taken back to. Bear with me. There's like a cheekiness coming through now. There's a cheekiness. And using cheekiness as charm. Sometimes we can use cheekiness to say something that might be a bit difficult. There's a cheekiness here with that fierceness of personal will. It doesn't have to be grr. It can be cheeky and shy. Many ways, many paths to express and empowered solar plexus, where the king is now residing. Yeah, absolutely. Bold step forward. If there's 1 month to do it, it's a 10-month. Definitely. Come on. Crossover. It's the initiation. Wow and wow and wow. And constant adaptability, I would say, during the whole month. Constant adaptability. Adapt and overcome. That's gorgeous. I'm done. I am done. Let's finish with an abundance card, and then I'm off. How was your weekend, by the way? Wow. Wow, this weekend changed my world. It was huge, quantum. Okay, let's wrap this up, please. Okay. Yep. Quantum. Limitless. Limitless faith. And look, this is the key card for the deck. This is the Divine Abundance deck. Okay, so the key card. Faith in limitless divine abundance. Goodness me gracious. Faith in limitless divine abundance. That's not too shabby. Okay, that's it. You'll hear from me again in October. Happy planets direct, happy moon, happy eclipse, happy Mars retro, and happy Samhain. But I'll speak to you again soon. I'd love to hear your stories about the weekend. Drop me a comment, give me a thumbs up. And that's it. I'll see you all soon. I'll leave you with my love. Take care. Bye.